Welcome to our St. Patty's Day extravaganza at the McCoy Pond.
The McCoy Pond.
This is Darby O'Shea and Patty O'Toole over here.
I wasn't ready for that one. Oh my god.
As we kick off, as you can see in the back of the pond here, our St. Patty's Day extravaganza. Thanks for being with us.
Oh yes, it looks quite great. Give all the praise to him. He set it up, he made it work, and surprised the shit out of me with it. So, looks amazing.
It's a lot of fun when you can start this thing off and hide your props and surprise the shit out of Colin.
Yeah.
I gotta say, the reaction is $1 million to me right there, and I could just say my day has been made. So.
Yes, he takes. I think it gets into the middle of the week every week just to do this part of it. So whatever keeps us going, because I'm never know. I come in here in the morning, I set my backpack down with our stuff, and I don't even look around. So he could have set it up before I got here, and I wouldn't have even known, because it's a beeline here and then straight to my fucking desk because I'm a little late.
Well, one thing we would like to say to our fans out there. You guys are fabulous.
We killed that last episode.
These numbers, and I got to be honest, with it running over an hour,
we did not expect that.
We dicked it. I really did.
We have been doing better, or attempting to do better. We're aware of it. We're self-aware that we predict that if it's a shorter video, naturally more people are inclined to click on it, maybe watch more of it, because it's less of a commitment. Last week, we did not fucking do that one bit. It was an hour and 10 minutes after I edited it. And, it's like we could take out parts of it, but then we didn't do the draft. So we're struck with this in-between emotion. And so we just left it. And it started off slower than most of ours. But, I think it finished, when I last checked, with 71 views.
Wow, fantastic.
7 likes, 2 comments.
And it's funny because we talk about keeping it short, keeping it to the point.
You would be surprised how many times we've talked about it.
And I'll be damned. The more we talk about it, the longer we get.
Yes, this one's expected to be an hour and a half.
So, what we'd like to do is we'd like to ask you, our fan base. Colin is going to give us like a, what did you say, a notice, a 5-minute notice to where we're at, what, like 50 minutes? Or
probably when we're hitting 45 minutes.
All right, so he's going to give a 5-minute warning when we're at 45 minutes.
Yes.
And so we need your input. How is Colin going to let me know this? Is this like a boxing match? Do we want Colin to have a bell over here that he rings and we use that
5-minute warning?
Because the problem is we lose ourselves in it,
and we always stumble upon something we actually have an opinion on right at the end, typically.
Or is it going to be like the timekeeper on the mat to the side of the boxing ring going?
Smack the shit out of the desk.
So if you have thoughts on what you think we should do, it'll be something we'll add to the pond.
Yeah, sure.
And we love to do that, and Colin can activate that warning notice so that we don't keep going on.
We'll figure it out, no doubt. We love your feedback, and thank you again so much for all of the support on last video.
We're blown away.
If you love the videos, again, make sure to hit the like and the subscribe button. If we can get to 10 likes on this video, that'd be amazing, because so far everything is up and to the right, which has blown me out of the water even. So thanks again.
Thank you.
But this week we will not be doing a 2013 draft. Maybe next week. We'll see how it is in between. We're kind of doing week to week. That's been our filler shit, as you guys know. We aren't needed to talk about a draft. There has been more than enough news.
That's right.
So just wanted to give you that a heads up early on. You'll see by the title of the video by now if you stayed around this long. But just thought I'd put that out there.
Yep.
I'll throw it back to you now.
No, I think it's great. There is so much activity going on right now.
And crazy amount.
To start off here, let's just real quick, I'm going to just kind of recap where we are. So right now, the combine is like 14 days in the rear view, I think.
Yeah.
Free agency, we're spot on it. It just started.
It's all hell.
And it hit like a son of a bitch.
I did not expect. Was that just yesterday that everything came out of the water? Monday?
Yep, Monday and Tuesday. And running backs getting big money. Oh my God, we'll come back to it one second here. But we are 10 days now from the league meeting. We are 23 days from off-season workouts, believe it or not.
That's crazy to think about.
And we are 43 days from the NFL draft.
Beautiful thing.
And then on you go. And to chalk it down to the start of the season, we are about 175 days away from the start of the 2024 season.
We're almost there.
So always important to have context. Where the hell are we at?
Yes. Before the draft, right as the salary cap hit, you have to be below a certain number or positive. I can't remember exactly what it is, but that's just hitting when we're recording this. So there's a chance we might miss a few things here and there if it's already happened Wednesday night, because it's Wednesday after work for us right now. This will come out tomorrow morning, Thursday morning for you guys.
And again, it is officially the start of the NFL season.
Yeah. So there very well could be during the show. I'm going to keep an eye on my phone, so don't freaking crucify me if I'm staring at my phone a little bit.
We might have some.
I'm trying to keep my eyes on Twitter so that if something does happen, we'll be in the know at the very least.
So let me just start out.
Yeah, he's got a moment
with a
here.
rant. May I get it over with?
Yes, the blocking.
Damn it! I'll tell you what. These stupid Cowboys. There's one team, the first day of free agency that signed no one.
Mm-hmm.
How about them stupid Cowboys? Fuck them. I'll tell you what. This is crap. And I'm going to go back to the shirt that I wanted to have on from the get-go of this thing to celebrate St. Patty's Day, because ever since I bought that motherfucking shirt, it's been crap. The Packer game, the Lucky Lions game, the shit that's happened after that, the off-season, the Dak crap, the Jerry crap, having kids with somebody else. Dak's now sued for something like it.
Yeah.
Quinn's gone. McCarthy's a lame duck coach. What is this? So they're driving me crazy. And I'll tell you, one of the funniest things I saw this week, Skip Bayless, he put out a tweet or something that said, all in, comma, my ass.
The memes that came out about how much that comma saved the tweet is crazy.
Gosh. The memes that came off of that were fabulous.
It helped the blow a little bit.
I see where you're going there. So we may throw a couple of these memes in here.
I have plenty of them I know of.
But that's it. I'm done talking about the Cowboys.
Whoa,
let's move on.
You can take more time if you want. Let's
move on to the fun part.
It's been crazy.
I don't. Has there been more activity ever before?
It doesn't feel like it. Now, I don't know if it's ever been worth this much, it feels like. But for whatever reason, it seemed like it was all saved up for Monday through Wednesday.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every year I feel like it was because I didn't follow the NFL like I did the year before, if that makes sense. But then every year it feels like there's more than there ever has been.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is a ploy to get more clicks, more views, more however you want to say it, which isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a practical reasoning that it could be that. And I really can't tell. I mean, I remember last year there was news of maybe a couple quarterbacks that I can't think off the top of my head, but it didn't feel like everyone got moved around as much as they did this year.
Agree.
And I don't know if that's just the modern NFL, what we're going to start expecting is a more NBA-style player signings maybe. And it might not be the NBA, but more activity.
I think you're right.
And, the running backs are equivalently, they are getting a shorter deal every year.
Yeah.
The contracts went from an average of 5 years to now it's like 3 years, and a running back will get a deal. And from there, even we've seen plenty of 1 and 2 years. Given these aren't people getting traded, they're just getting released.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to have this absurd amount of signings in 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's, sorry to Cowboys fans, but it's been almost every team.
Every team
has like 7 to 8 either re-signed, released, signed from another team, or whatever restructure.
And if you're re-signing your own people, that's great. That's what you should do first.
You should grow them in house.
The known should be the one that you pay the most, I think.
Yeah.
And if they're not working out,
then you get the opportunity.
But oh my gosh, I don't know how you want to proceed through them. But
I don't know either.
It's freaking unbelievable
because we got them by position and we've got them by team on our little sheet of paper here. We'll be referencing. But what I will start out with is Russ Wilson of the Steelers. We said that.
Yep.
Well, everyone said that.
Yep.
I can't act like the Coy Pond was the only one that got lucky on that. But I mean, for what it's worth, I think that's a great fit. The Steelers get him at a discounted rate.
Yep. He's already better than Kenny Pickett.
Pickett needs a veteran in there.
Let's face it. Mason Rudolph is not your answer.
No, and they know that, but he's the guy they've had for so long.
That's right.
He's shown up at times where they need something. He'll be that number 3 or 2 that can at least make the team not look like complete ass.
And imagine this. I mean, if Mike Tomlin did what he did with what he had.
Yes.
And the difference between Sean Payton and Mike Tomlin, I don't know, he's got another ability.
Yes.
I think Sean Payton is a developer of quarterbacks to an extreme.
He has his
with the right
niches
person
that he's really good at in the right circumstances.
But Tomlin is better at overall team building and getting the most out of it.
I agree. He maximizes players.
I mean, if you look at last year, you just have to say
he didn't have a losing season again with that roster. I mean,
and now he's got Russell Wilson.
Yeah. And I get the whole joke about, Russell Wilson trying to ruin that for Mike Tomlin. I 100% find it hilarious because it's, a practicality.
Yeah.
But I think the Broncos messed up bad here. And I think the Steelers, honestly, between Mike Tomlin and Russell Wilson and Matt Canada, I think that's going to be a pretty good trio. And all they got to get is a running back. And they've got...
and you got Pat McQueen now.
And they got Pat McQueen.
Who to me is one of the best.
Well, they picked up the other cornerback from the Broncos.
Oh, no kidding.
I think Sims, maybe.
Let's see.
But
a cornerback?
Yeah, I think so. I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, the Patriots, Jesus.
Is he a safety?
Maybe.
Okay.
The Steelers are really winning right now. And
they're killing it
in free agency.
They're killing it
at a discount too, man.
Yeah.
Getting Patrick Queen was crazy. This year's also seeing a crazy amount of people in division switch teams.
Right.
I mean,
that's going to really make it interesting. I mean,
that's a personal thing.
Who the hell cares? I mean, Tiki Barber, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
But you always had a higher feeling on yourself than you really were, in my opinion.
He was getting...
He would have been better to learn something from his brother, Rondé. But to complain about Saquon Barkley switching teams...
After the Giants have been what they've been for 5
moron.
years. Yeah.
And
this coming from a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, and you're telling me you decided Daniel Jones was more important than Saquon Barkley? We might want to take that part out.
I'll just bleep it.
But to me,
no, I won't bleep it. That'll make it worse. I think we can leave it in.
But to me, it just ticks me off.
And there was plenty of people in the NFL clowning him. People were either laughing at the comment or saying, there was some controversy back in the day between him and Eli Manning, from what I gathered. I wasn't in the know at the time, didn't remember what it was. But the McCoys are really letting it fly.
They really are.
But I think Saquon is fine. I don't see. That was a smart move on his part. Yep. I can't blame him.
I don't blame him one bit. He should have got the hell out of there.
Yeah, he should have.
What do they say? Between Hurts, Jalen Hurts, and Saquon Barkley together, they could bench press like 1,500 pounds or some shit like that?
Yeah, exactly. At the goal line now, there'll be a bigger question mark of who's going to get that touch to go in, which is part of the reason they got him.
And you still have the brotherly shove, so...
Yeah, and Jason Kelsey's not there anymore. But
there's that.
It'll be curious to see if that really was the whole point of it or not. If it was Jason, or if anybody can kind of do it. And last season we saw that not everyone can do it, so having that power running back makes a big difference.
Yep. So let's talk about Derrick Henry, because I think he's another big switcheroo here.
I agree.
And while we're talking about the Steelers and the Steelers taking Queen, Derrick Henry, to me, going to the Ravens is huge.
Yes.
And it should... they've had so many people in that backfield, and they've done it pretty well. But imagine what you can do with that guy.
Yes.
Along with Lamar Jackson.
And they haven't had a healthy backfield in the last 2-3 seasons, because J.K. Dobbins has always gotten hurt.
They're always rotating.
And then somehow the second string always gets hurt.
Yep.
And then the third string gets comfortable, the second string comes back, and they're in a weird position.
Yep.
So having Derrick Henry, assuming he stays healthy, of course, but that's a difference. You have a quarterback that obviously can run. You have Derrick Henry, who will get you whatever amount of yards you need. And now you have the rest of that offense. And the defense, Patrick Queen's gone, but it'll be interesting to see how that shifts, because I know also a lot of the Ravens coaching has gotten poached by the Chargers.
Right.
So all of these pieces will be interesting to watch.
They're sliding around here.
Right. The next month, well, from now until the draft, you're going to hear nothing but overreactions about who won free agency. Essentially, it doesn't mean jack shit. And then you're going to hear plenty of overreaction to who won the draft before the season starts, and that'll be bullshit.
Right.
And then come, August, September, you'll have your bona fide, 4 teams that you know are good.
Yep.
The 5 that won't be as good, the 5 that came out too hot, and from there, that's the season. And I don't know why I just went through an entire calendar year of football, but
no, but
you're right. It's smart to keep in mind that there's so many other factors that play into who wins each week.
Yep, you're right. I don't know what was I just looking at?
You're fine.
Nah, it's just crazy the movement. I mean, one team I was going to say the Dolphins.
Yes, they lost a lot of key players.
So, when they talk about their window being open, I mean, I've been listening to NFL Network, and regular Dolphin fans that call onto there are just going crazy. To your point about Tua, you're making you're letting all these people go so you can keep Tua.
It feels like it does.
This guy, they're like, get rid of him. He's horrible. Get rid of. You've just destroyed your whole chances of winning anything to keep a guy that is not going to do anything.
And, he's got a lot of his career left, and I feel kind of bad because I've been saying this since day one. But when you start letting these big names, was it Wilkins or Wilkes that went to the Raiders? I can't remember what his...
wasn't it Wilkins, I think?
Wilkins, yeah. I couldn't remember which name he was.
I think that's who it is.
That is a huge loss, that line.
Yeah.
In the sense that now the Chargers have to fucking deal with him and Max Crosby at the same time.
Right.
But it does seem like the Dolphins were, without a doubt, the biggest losers. And, they picked up Jordan Poyer from the Bills, but I don't know in the last few weeks of that season if he was the reason why they were winning. He's a good player. He's a great player.
Yeah.
But he is also very injury prone, and they probably got him a little discounted. So
it
feels like the Dolphins had a huge loss there in free agency the last few days, and it'll be curious to see what necessarily happens with that team. And it does feel like they're doing all this just to keep Tua, which is, I wouldn't say a bad idea, but it's not looking like a great idea right now.
Right.
Only time will tell naturally.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how about the Bears loading up?
Bears are doing great. And not only that, they decided to go ahead and, which is a great move by them, to go ahead and commit to putting $2 billion into a new stadium.
Yeah.
Lakeview Stadium, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, smart on their part. Address that.
Stay in Chicago. That's what you are. Keep that spot. It's tradition, with a modern flair. So
and you need the fans. I mean, right now, more than ever.
And I applaud them for doing that because they were down another path. They thought enough about it and made this switch. And at the same time, to your point, DeAndre Swift, great signing.
Yep, I think he's still a great player. It just sucks. He's got moved around. That'll be his third team now because he was with the Lions, went to the Eagles, now he's with the Bears, which he's great, but people are just loving switching him around. I don't know why necessarily, but
big question mark with Justin Fields still.
Caleb Williams is still possible. You're hearing rumors from everyone that it's one or the other. No one has any idea.
Yeah.
Wow. Ravens to release OBJ.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
I don't know how much that really matters, but that's a headline.
Quick note: I did go back and watch the highlights of that game from the Panthers and the Giants.
Oh yeah,
between OBJ and Josh.
It's a good watch.
Yeah, that it was. I was like, wow, there was a lot more in here.
It was almost worse than I remembered.
It really was.
In the video, whoever watched, I did have the snippet.
Was that last week?
Yeah, playing up here, and I had to splice it up, obviously from YouTube. And oh my God, there was way more fights than I thought there were, which is a lot to say that most people, if you say OBJ and Josh Norman, remember exactly what game you're talking about.
And back to your point about Christian Wilkins going to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Max Crosby?
Mm-hmm.
Max Crosby, those two together?
That duo is nuts. That is going to be, that's them loading up for Patrick Mahomes, essentially.
It is.
And, you have Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes. Probably not whoever the Broncos get, if I had to guess. No shade given. But, you're loading up for the top of your division, and it's a great pickup by them. But I will say that's also Tom Telesco on the Raiders now reaching for a player that may not be worth $110 million.
Yep, there you go.
So, the fucking Chargers are dealing with Tom Telesco's money management with Khalil Mack, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Joey Bosa.
And that is the flip side to it, to say, okay, your team's active, that's great, but Of course, anybody can get hurt at any time. Mm-hmm. And the more you sink into just a few players,
the more you look like the Chargers right now.
You're going to be sucking it at some point.
Yeah.
Because you can't have that talent if you've got players way up here and then the rest are down here.
And you can only push it down the road so long. Right. You can push it down the road, but it takes agreement from the players, from the front office, and for just timing, of course, above everything.
Yep. Hey, how about we talk about Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, Kirk Cousins to Atlanta.
Man, that's amazing. I mean, the story on that guy is just phenomenal.
It's crazy. We talked about him last week, 2 weeks ago, getting drafted by the Redskins, getting traded to the Vikings.
Yep.
And now he's going to the Falcons.
Saw this article. Got to start bringing up Kirk Cousins more in GOAT debates. Like, sure, okay, Brady has 7 rings and played at a high level for 20 years, but Kirk Cousins has made $330 million in guaranteed money, which is all that matters in these contracts, while only winning 1 playoff game.
He has done something crazy and almost being the king of the regular season, and also in perspective just being a great quarterback to everyone's eyes without having any of the accolades, given he has a couple records. But come on, man.
It's just like, how are we really defining greatness here?
Yeah, how far does that go?
So,
because they always Titans signed Mason Rudolph.
Okay, there you go. So he's moving on.
He's moving on.
I wonder what they were going to do there.
Yeah, me too.
That makes sense.
It makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
But I completely agree. Kirk Cousins is who he is.
Yep.
He will win regular season games, but that poor bastard just cannot get in the playoffs and do anything with it. Now going to the NFC South is the one place you could go and instantly become a possibility.
That's huge. And I think the offensive coordinator there had time in the same offense that Kirk Cousins is used to. And so, it really makes it simple, the transition, which is another big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the money is one thing. But somebody like Kirk Cousins is going to want to be successful to at least a point.
Right.
And so by going where he's familiar in terms of what they do, it's going to it's going to be a big leg up for him, and it's going to put Atlanta probably in winning that division.
I would say so. I mean
who's going to stop them?
Yeah, the Buccaneers are the other, I would say, contender. I wouldn't worry about the Saints or Panthers necessarily, but even then, if it'll be a first-year head coach for the Falcons, and Kirk's first time with those receivers, which are probably about a little bit of a step down, maybe similar to like Justin Jefferson, that Madison, and
they just got Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, they did.
So that's a good pickup for them.
They got some good pickups. So I think, coming out of the gate, they'll be favored. Michael Thomas was just released by the Saints.
Oh, right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, great point. You're they did get Levante David back.
Yep.
Greg Gaines back, defensive lineman. Obviously, Anton Winfield is back. That's a big one.
It's pretty good names there.
They lost Shake Barrett, but,
what are you going to do?
Other than that, I mean...
There hasn't been anything crazy, at least, from them. It's all been good pickups.
So they've got a shot there.
For sure. And the Chargers released Mike Williams today, which it was bound to happen. It had to be one of the big 4, but Khalil Mack did restructure his deal so that they'd be below the cap... the salary cap, which is great.
Yeah, that was a great thing. I'm kind of surprised that he did that, actually. But...
I was surprised he did it and Bosa didn't. There's rumors coming out, though, that Bosa was approached and refused to renegotiate his deal. So I'm curious is if he keeps that deal, does he stay, or if they ask to renegotiate and he leaves? Also, Keenan Allen, what they do with him. Yeah. I honestly was hoping they'd release the 3 and keep Keenan Allen. Now that they have Khalil Mack staying, I like that. Get rid of Bosa and keep Keenan Allen, in my opinion. But who knows?
Yep, and right before we were getting ready to come on the air, I was seeing something come through from Dallas insider Jane Slater, and she's very reliable. She doesn't talk about anything unless something's really happening.
Right.
And she said that there's something brewing with the Cowboys, and someone hinted it might be something with Joey Bosa.
Oh, fuck.
So I don't know.
I'd be happy to see him on the Cowboys.
But we'll see.
As long as he's out of the AFC. You want to give us CeeDee Lamb?
So we'll see what happens with that. But that was recent noise just a few minutes before we got in here.
Oh, hell yeah. I can live with that. Man, I'm trying to think of any other big names off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Because obviously it just comes in waves of just crazy amounts.
Got the Kirk Cousins one. Just trying to look at, let's see. The Lions, I thought Carlton Davis, via trade, the cornerback, was a great pickup for them.
Yeah, that was.
That's a solid, definitely. And they really haven't been crazy active.
No.
But they're just doing enough. I think on some level, the teams that were good had cap room and are still kind of just laying low.
Right.
Seem pretty smart.
Yeah, Chiefs have been doing that. 49ers have been doing that. I think they just restructured Kyle Juszczyk's deal, which is smart on their part. He's a great piece to their offense.
Was it Armstead? I think they're releasing him. We're going to trade him. So that'll be something happening. But they did get Eric Kendricks from the Chargers, which is good. And they also got Malik Collins from the Texans.
Yes, and the Texans got Joe Mixon.
Oh, they got Leonard Floyd, too, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, Leonard Floyd.
Who were you just talking about?
Texans.
Yep.
They had some great pickups. I know they got Joe Mixon. I'm trying to remember who else they got off the top of my head. They re-signed Schultz. I forgot about that.
Yep, that was a big one.
Jeff Okudah. That was a great pickup for him, honestly.
Yeah, and really, when you look down through here, they got Desmond King. I forget where he was at, but
he was.
Oh, he was with them. He re-signed with them.
Yeah, he was a Chargers player initially. That's who drafted him.
But they did a good job here.
They retained a lot of their good players.
Daniel Hunter from the Vikings, the defensive end.
That's right.
That's a huge one. 2 years, $49 million.
They did a great job, honestly, so far. And that's scary to think about just with how they're looking.
And again, they've got a shit ton of cap room, so they could kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, with Stroud being on the deal he is, they probably got Mixon at a bit of a discount. I can't remember how much money he signed for.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here.
I don't know if it was on here yet because it was a trade.
Maybe. I guess. Yeah.
Oh, wait. It should be on here.
Yeah, it'd be a trade, so they don't have how much money it was necessarily, but
interesting.
Great pickups for them. That'll be a scary team in the AFC next year, sadly. So add another team to the list of that. It sounds like Calvin Ridley more than likely is going to sign with the Jaguars, but I know the Patriots were a top runner in that discussion as well.
Interesting.
I was hoping he'd go anywhere else, but Jaguars are the Jaguars. Minshew to the Raiders.
Yeah.
That's a wild one.
And
it sounded like they were going to release Jimmy G. So,
yeah.
I don't know if Gardner Minshew's the, future, but if you're in between a couple years, I mean, he's a great quarterback to bridge that gap between them. He'll get you to the next draft and let you find someone if you want to make your franchise quarterback.
Yep.
But, sadly, they have Aiden. Oh, my God.
Hutchinson?
No. Well, oh my God, Aiden of something. The quarterback from last year they had.
Okay,
he's still there, and he was doing pretty good.
Aiden O'Donnell.
Aiden O'Donnell maybe. But he was doing well. So
I might just be thinking that because of St. Patty's thing, but
maybe. But it was something.
Yeah.
But he'll be good too.
Jameis Winston to the Browns.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I saw him. He was talking about. He's like, in a dream he saw something telling him that it's not his time right now, but he needs to be a leader on a different team. So. Whatever God's speaking to him, happy for him.
Amen, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Browns are taking crazy cap hits just with that Deshaun Watson still being there, too. All the guaranteed money they gave him.
See, the Ravens are sending starting right tackle Morgan Moses.
Is that to the Jets?
To the Jets, yep. As part of a pick swap.
Oh yeah, they're getting a 6th round for him?
Yeah, Moses in a 4th round for a 4th round and a 6th round.
Okay, well, that's good for the Jets. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is apparently going to be a vice president now, so good on him.
Let's see what else we got here. ESPN's Adam Schefter shares egregious phone screen time amid hectic day of NFL free agency.
Oh, my God.
He was on the phone for 17 hours and 23 minutes.
I cannot imagine. He has to have like 2 or 3 phones.
Isn't that crazy?
One to send out tweets, one to get texts, and one to be on calls with or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you hear about their Aaron Rodgers stuff about him being vice president?
I did.
For RFK?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
I'll be curious to see if that's real or not.
Yeah.
Who knows right now, but that would be in Rodgers fashion. He plays 4 snaps with the Jets and then becomes a VP. Well, tries to run for VP, but I doubt that's real. It'd be funny. I want it to be for just the good chuckle it would be.
The Commanders have been really active, too.
Yeah, they got Austin Eckler. They got a few other players. I mean, they're kind of building one of the most mid teams I've ever seen in my life. So,
Zach Ertz, like we talked about, Tyler Biadasz. They took Dallas' starting center.
Oh, geez.
Dallas' starting defensive end, Dorrance Armstrong.
That's right.
Let's see, Marcus Mariota is a backup.
Yeah, nothing crazy there.
But I think just trying to make the roster more solid, which makes a ton of sense.
They're building it. They're building it from a terrible to a workable.
Yep.
But I don't know what to expect from that team.
Titans seem to have done a solid job.
Yeah, there was someone that went there, right?
Lloyd Cushenberry. I think he's a center.
I'm thinking of their the Bengals defensive or offensive coordinator that went to be a head coach there.
Oh, okay.
What I was
but they did get Cheeto Awuzie.
Okay.
And they also got Tony Pollard from the Cowboys.
That's right. That's what I was thinking of. Which, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
With how Pollard was at the end of the season last year, I don't know if the Titans hit a home run or if they're just, doing as much work as they can in free agency before the draft.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson signed with the Eagles from the Lions.
Oh, Jesus.
That was a big pick.
Yeah, that was who...
along with Barkley.
That was one of those headlines where he's saying that all the Philly fans suck or something like that, and then he signed with them.
And then the Bryce Huff, the defensive end, signed 3 years, $51 million.
Damn.
I forget, did he come from the Panthers? I think he did.
He might have been, because there was that other big trade from the Panthers that they traded him for a second round and a sixth round, when the year before someone was offering them 2 second rounders or something like that. So
big time stuff.
The Panthers are still blowing it up. It feels like right now. That's a team that you'd expect to have plenty.
They
of
really
moves,
are.
And it's nothing.
They're it's kind of strange. I don't know.
They
got rid of Brian Burns. They're arguably their best defender.
Yep, that's the guy they traded for the second and a sixth when someone offered a second and a second, I think.
Yep, got Deontay Johnson as a receiver from the Steelers.
Yeah, that is what it is. I heard he might not have been happy in Pittsburgh, so we'll see how much happier he is in Carolina.
Signed 2 guards to get protection up front. 5 years, $100 million, and 4 years, $53 million.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well,
so
maybe they're trying more than I thought they were, but God,
that's a very similar thing to the Rams. The Rams signed 2 guards to big contracts, and again that makes sense. Stafford's not as mobile as he was.
No, he's a lot more fragile, I'd guess.
So, and same as far as the running game, So,
a step in the right direction for
him.
God, trying to think.
There's a lot of shit.
Yeah. I mean, right now, in my personal opinion, I put the Steelers, the Texans, and maybe what's a third team you'd say is won in free agency up until this point? Packers? We haven't talked about them. They got
What do they have here?
They had a few big pickups. They got Josh Jacobs.
I
almost forgot about that. That was like one of the
Xavier McKinney.
Yep, that's
safety.
big.
That's 2 great ones right there.
I mean,
and you're right. Josh Jacobs is a great pickup.
They got sure enough. Aaron Jones went to the Vikings. But, I mean, the Packers feel like they're winning. So, I'd probably roll with Packers, Steelers, and, who would I just say? Texans are probably my top 3 winning free agency at the moment.
Yeah.
Feels like the Dolphins have really lost out.
Big losers, I would say.
Yeah, I might put the Giants in that category, too.
Giants?
I don't know if, other than releasing Saquon, they've really done anything, though.
Yeah, the couple things they did do, they signed John Runyon, the guard.
Who was the Singletary?
Devin Singletary. And they also got Carolina's one of the top pass rushers for them.
Okay.
Brian Burns.
Oh, that's where he went. Okay.
Yeah. So that's...
Maybe not worst.
They're probably in the middle.
Dolphins are stinking it up, though, right now. That it's a bad look when everyone's jumping ship, it feels like.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think Xavier Howard on the Dolphins might still be a free agent. Maybe not.
There?
Maybe not. I'm thinking stuff. Never mind. I take that back. And so much activity. I mean, I expected something, but I did not expect it to go the way it has.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of players staying in place.
Yep.
Zaire Franklin, the linebacker for the Colts.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Michael Pittman Jr.
That's huge for them.
Big money.
Staying.
Yep. Grover Stewart, defensive lineman.
Okay, well.
So there's some big names. Raekwon Davis, the defensive lineman, signed there. A good player from Alabama.
Oh yeah.
And like you said, the Chiefs. I mean, they got L'Jarius Sneed back.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jones. So they really just needed to take care of their own business, and they appear to have done that.
They really have. God, do you see that Sam Darnold to the Vikings?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm hoping the best for him.
Yeah.
His career really has gotten the shaft in the nicest way I can put possible.
Yep.
But God, it'd be interesting to see, which leads into Justin Jefferson.
Right.
Does he stay there? Does he go somewhere else? Do the Bengals get him? whoever get him.
He's
at quite a in between of what's worth it right now.
right.
And I don't think it's with the Vikings, so I think he'll end up somewhere else. I'm just curious if it's going to be like a blockbuster trade or if it's going to be some other way.
Yeah, great point.
Then J.K. Dobbins, I guess, is still being floated around as going somewhere else too.
Is he really?
Now that they have Derrick Henry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nothing's happened to him so far, eh?
Yeah, nothing. And then does T. Higgins get sent somewhere else?
Yeah.
He got franchise tag, but
right.
he's now complaining that he wants traded. So
Yeah, interesting. Just noticing on the Jaguars signing Gabe Davis. I don't know if we said that.
We haven't yet, but Gabe Davis from the Bills, that's a great pickup for him.
In an odd one, Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones got sent to
put him with his draft partner, Trevor Lawrence.
I guess. I mean,
I don't know.
Maybe with Trevor Lawrence's injury last year, they got cold feet and wanted someone. But those are two young guys, same draft class, right?
Same draft class.
Yeah. So that. I don't know what the hell that means, but Mayo on the Patriots, I'm assuming, was just over him and whoever else.
Yeah, and Patriots have made a lot of moves. I guess they're okay.
Yeah, I mean the amount of moves they've made is crazy.
Yeah,
and they were rumored to be shopping a lot of players.
Yeah,
so I don't know who's going there, how they're going to look. Hunter Henry's still there, I think.
Yeah, he is.
Zeke is still there.
Zeke is I think he's a free agent right now.
Free agent, okay.
So they might wait and see kind of how things go, and then make that decision. But
oh Lord,
yeah,
that's been something else. I'm trying to see if there's any good tight ends news that I might have missed out on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mike Gesicki signed with the Bengals.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and then Irv Smith Jr., one of their tight ends, signed with Kansas City. I liked him a lot.
Yeah,
so.
he'll be good with Kansas City.
I know, which scares me a little bit, but good on him. Gerald Everett from the Chargers went to the Bears too.
Yep.
I mean, the Bears honestly have had some pretty solid signees. It's just that decision on Caleb Williams or Justin Fields, I feel like should not be as hard of a decision as they're making it feel like.
Yeah. And what do you think they should do?
I would stick with Justin Fields because but he's injury prone. That's the problem. Like when he's healthy, that team is so good, and it looked so good the last few weeks. But the last few weeks aren't an entire season.
Did you see Justin Jefferson put something out saying at some point they're saying we should get Justin Fields before they got
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold, yeah.
Well, it's not out of the question because it's not like they had to I don't know if it was a trade or what, but they didn't have to spend a bunch of money. Yeah, 1 year to be determined. So it's not like you can't have both of them.
That's true.
And it'd be curious to see if the Vikings and Bears trade, which would be in division or release and sign.
Yeah, if that would happen.
If Justin Jefferson stays then.
True.
Because if he likes Justin Fields, then fuck it, he might just stay there for the sake of everything else.
Might be enough just to nudge him that way, huh?
Right. Which, I mean, I have no idea. The Caleb Williams stuff is crazy because you're either going with a quarterback, which you're getting with a couple injury possibilities, or Caleb Williams that everyone seems to be so polarized on if he's good or if he's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know.
Nyheim Hines, remember that name?
Yeah, he's old Colts running back?
Yeah. Colts, Bills signed a 1-year deal with the Browns.
Who's that running back for the Browns that got hurt last year?
Was that Chubb?
Yeah, Nick Chubb.
Yep.
I keep forgetting that he exists. After he got hurt, it was kind of hard to remember him because the Browns were good, but for other reasons.
He really did kind of go quiet, didn't he?
He really did, but I mean, in the moment, it was loud.
Yeah.
It's just been so long.
Yep.
See.
Just combing for any news.
I'm trying to see if the Cleveland Browns really did anything. Jerry Jeudy, that's another
big
one.
That's a good one.
He went to the Browns. I thought there was something with him.
Yeah.
And I mean, at this rate, do you think Deshaun Watson's cases and whatnot gets finalized? Like, was Deshaun Watson hurt at the end of last year?
He was hurt, yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it was that or if he was sitting out because he had other things going on.
Still dealing with stuff.
It feels like he's still dealing with that.
At some point, I mean, I guess they're negotiating with Flacco right now. I saw something about that.
I thought they didn't even offer him anything.
So they're
Who knows
trying
then?
to. I would say for the success you had, bring him back one more year and see what happens.
Well, worst case, I mean, you don't have to pay him that much. I would assume with it being Joe Flacco, you could either give him little to nothing or, be like, hey, we're going to go separate ways and end it pretty quick.
Exactly. But
about a 5-minute warning, just so you know.
All right, sweet.
But it's been crazy. I don't know what to expect from any teams. a blockbuster deal between the Chargers and Cowboys would be crazy.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Yeah.
And I really want Bosa gone. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people are saying that, he did all this, he did all that.
I don't know if I want him.
All I remember is him being hurt. He does have a couple big plays, but ever since he had an ankle injury in maybe 2021, it's been hard to watch him, if he's even there.
Yeah.
And I think he was really just sick and tired of Staley. But now I don't know what they've said to him, what he said to them necessarily. So who knows? But, please, for the love of God, with all these rookies that the Chargers are about to have on the wide receivers, keep Keenan Allen just as a fucking, consultant.
Yep.
I'm not asking for much.
Titans signed Calvin Ridley.
Titans signed him.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's surprising.
I did not see that coming at all. Good on
So,
them. Titans kind of putting together an okay team, just based off free agency so far.
They're going to have some solid players. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, good on them.
So.
The Gus Edwards also to the Chargers. I have to say, I like that deal a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a lot of money, right?
It's a low risk signing with a running back that can at least run.
Exactly.
And I've beat this drum to shit like the 201, but Austin Eckler was not getting run. He wasn't running the ball. He was a catching running back or a receiving running back.
Yeah, I even heard one of the people on NFL Network talking about it, and they said he's really not a running back. No. He's a receiver.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why it irked me so much is because on the Chargers, you don't need the running back to be the center of attention. You need the running back to get 4 yards of carry.
Yeah.
As soon as Austin Eckler became this big name after he scored all those touchdowns in 2021,
I think so.
Season, it was like, okay, I think we're focusing on the wrong thing. You need to keep Justin Herbert healthy and let Austin Eckler run the ball. But instead, he turned into this, wide out receiver almost, which it is what it is. It's over now. I don't need to keep ranting about it, but I'm happy they just have a running back, to be honest. And they had a good room. I don't know. I don't think Josh Kelly is still with the Chargers, but I'm excited for what the future holds with it and what the who the Chargers go with pick wise.
Josh Kelly, I mean, he was a solid back when he got in the game.
He was a speedy son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I think they had not Spiller, but they had someone else they drafted a couple years ago. So I'm curious to see if they go with any of them, which I wouldn't hate, but who knows?
Yeah,
it's one of those things with running backs where if you've got a whole running back room, there's going to be one that rises to the top. It's just a matter of who it is.
So one last little thing, we're kind of wrapping up.
Yeah.
So, February 14th, we really have a male-dominated audience, right?
No doubt.
So just want to put a little reminder out here about a holiday for men. It's tomorrow, March 14th.
Mm-hmm.
It's officially Steak and BJ Day.
Oh, my God.
And so basically what you have here is where you have April 14th is Valentine's Day. That's really kind of for the ladies.
Mm-hmm. February 14th.
What'd I say?
April.
Yeah, February 14th.
Thanks.
Steak and BJ Day, the anti-Valentine's Day. Celebrated on March 14th, Steak and Blowjob Day is a holiday for men. Celebrated the month after Valentine's Day, a holiday for women. And so there you go.
Hey,
so
appreciate that nugget of information.
We'll post that out. And so it is something that's actually circulating out there.
Oh, yeah. Every year the meme holidays get a little bit higher up on the list.
Yeah.
People don't forget the next year then.
Yeah, exactly. So just want to put that reminder out there. And then we got St. Patty's Day coming up after that.
Right. Green Beer Day in Oxford coming up. Yep. Everyone stay safe. Enjoy your booze. Springboro made it into the semifinals for the state championship, the girls basketball team. So they're playing at UD Arena this Friday.
There we go.
Dayton, I think, plays tomorrow or the day you're listening to this in their tournament, their first games then.
Yeah.
Then Miami is probably about to get smoked by Akron on Thursday, so that'll be fun to watch or look at. And I think that's all the local basketball news. Next week is the Final Four, or the first four, I think, right?
I think so. Yeah, so we'll be getting into starting to talk about some March Madness stuff for sure.
We'll be floating in some March Madness stuff, but
still, because the NFL will kind of slow down here a little bit. March Madness comes in there and
it becomes dominant for all 3 weeks it's here, and then it leaves again for another year.
So, and just to correct back to my my reminder about tomorrow, your lady, your partner, whatever does it for you. So just want to make sure and be clear about that.
Yeah,
so.
I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, right.
No worries. But I think that's all we have for you guys today. We said, we kept it short and sweet and to the point.
Right on.
Technically talking about free agency, but fuck it. There's plenty to talk about. But thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all next week for episode
St. Patty's Day
19 and have a great St. Patrick's Day.
Take care.
Coy Pond at